Croatia. The name alone conjures images of sun-soaked coastlines, historic towns, and a Mediterranean charm that's hard to resist. So when we decided to head east, Croatia was the perfect starting point. First stop, Split, a city that seemed to promise postcard-perfect views and laid-back vibes. And then there was Zagreb, a place we almost skipped but ended up choosing thanks to a Scotland v Croatia football match. In this video, we're diving into both sides of Croatia, the polished beauty of Split and the underrated soul of Zagreb. Let's start with the coast and then head inland to a city that changed how we saw Croatia. When we arrived in Split, we decided to stay a little outside the main tourist area in the Spinnet neighborhood. Our Airbnb was near the stadium and just a short walk from Margin Park. But to be honest, our first impression wasn't exactly love at first sight. The neighborhood had a more utilitarian vibe with high-rise apartments buildings and graffiti-covered walls, a sharp contrast to the coastal charm we'd imagined. For a moment, we wondered if we made the wrong choice. But as we settled in, the area grew on us. It felt more local, with neighbors chatting in the streets and life moving at a slower pace. Being so close to Margin Park was a huge bonus, as it became our go-to spot for morning walks, offering a peaceful and green retreat from the city. It's a bit of a climb, but the views at the top were incredible. Of course, we couldn't resist diving into Split's main attractions. Diocletian's palace was stunning, especially when it's a bit quieter at nighttime. Built as a retirement home for the Roman Emperor Diocletian, the palace isn't just a single building. It's an expansive complex that forms the heart of Split's Old Town. Walking through its labyrinth streets feels like stepping back in time. You can trace Roman architectural influences in its towering columns, grand arches, and intricate carvings. Yet these ancient walls now house shops, restaurants, and even apartments. Parts of Diocletian's palace were used as filming locations, including the underground cellars, which doubled as a lair for dragons in Game of Thrones. Even if you're not a huge fan, it's fun to see how this historical site was transformed into a fantasy world. Lined with cafes and restaurants, the Riva Promenade is the perfect place to soak up the city's energy. But it's not just about the views. This is also a working harbor and part of daily life. We found ourselves wandering through the market stalls where we picked up some fresh produce for dinner. The mix of tourism and local routine gives the Riva its unique charm, making it more than just a picturesque backdrop. It wasn't always easy to connect with Split. The sightseeing buses, souvenir stalls, and crowds sometimes made it feel like just another tourist destination. But then there were the quieter moments, strolling through local streets, watching the sunset from an empty corner, or finding a hidden beach away from the crowds. We also got to experience the rhythm of everyday life, cooking meals in our Airbnb, tackling the laundry, and even working on this YouTube channel. Split didn't win us over immediately, but it grew on us, offering a version of Croatia that was both beautiful and unexpected. As we left the coast behind, the scenery began to shift to rugged hills and forest. Our next stop? Zagreb, a city that turned out to be a surprise in all the best ways. Welcome to Zagreb, where every day starts with a bang. Literally. At exactly noon, the cannon fires from the tower, and from here you can hop on the cable car, just 66 seconds from bottom to top, officially the shortest funicular in the world. For a few days, the streets and pubs were alive with the Tartan army, and Zagreb welcomed them like old friends. But what really stood out to me were the contrasts. Quiet mornings, strolling the local sights, observing purple flowers perking up to soak in the warm sun, taking time to admire the buildings, both new and old. The capital city buzzes with daily life. Open-air markets bursting with fresh produce, homemade goods, and flowers, all accompanied by the hum of locals catching up over coffee. There are, of course, the must-see spots, like the colorful St. Mark's Church and the viewpoint near the tower, where you can take in sweeping views of Zagreb's rooftops and beyond. But it's the quiet everyday things that I'll remember. The sound of the tram passing outside the flat, how the puddles reflected the neon lights of bars and restaurants, and even observing a marathon as others cheer on the local residents. Split and Zagreb gave us two very different experiences of Croatia, but together they painted a fuller picture of the country. Split dazzled with its coastal charm, historic landmarks, and natural beauty, despite the crowds and touristy vibes that took some getting used to. Zagreb, on the other hand, won us over with its authenticity, its contrast, and the way it felt like a city that lives for its people, not just its visitors. Thanks for coming along with us, and I hope this gave you a feel for what these two cities are like. Until next time, be sure to like and subscribe to follow us as we continue our travels further east. See you soon!